Heyo.
Hello.
Looks like you were in the middle of something cool.
I was in the middle of getting stuff ready. I have a. If I had a camera right here, you would see how much of a mess my desk is at the moment.
Yeah, but I've been to your house and I've seen the kind of mess, and it's the mess we would all love to just go through, all the little good types of prototype thingies and all that stuff. How's it going, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Mondo Toy Talk. I'm Peter. This is Hector. We're stoked to be here. We're talking about one of our favorite characters, Lion-O in 1/6 tonight. It's going to be a great time. Yeah, it's going to be a great time looking through, taking a deep dive into the figure and how we got to the place where we are now, where we're so proud to bring him to you guys. We got some stuff to talk about up at the top here. Before we get into it, though, I want to say hi to everybody in the chat. So what's up to the toy addict himself? Let's effing ho, he said. And by the way, we did we had a conversation with Jorge from Toy Addict and Mega J Retro, which should be airing tomorrow. Make sure to check that out. Hector dropped some cool Easter egg bits of information. We'll call them exclusives. So we'll let them have that.
They asked some great questions. It was awesome talking with him and Mega J.
100%. Yeah, they're great. We love those guys. They're a lot of fun. And so make sure you guys put your channel in the chat. Jay, if you're watching, put your channel in the chat, and then we can try to pin it or just let everybody know. So yeah, tomorrow we'll be talking on there. What's up, Nicholas Hill? This is going to be awesome. I agree. Video power gaming. I'm not even in on this line. I just want to hang out. That's the energy we're talking about. We always just want to hang out with you guys. No problem.
Exactly.
Let's see. OP Collecting Habits is saying this was from the animated cartoon. He'd be all over it. You never know what could happen. Let's see here. There we go. Frankie Rivera, ThunderCats. Ho. Let me see. Only thing. This is a question for later. We'll get into that later. What's up, Brian Carr? How you doing? What's up, King Panther from Chicago? Good to see you. Thunder. Rodney Winch, how you doing? Pedro, what's up? Paul, what's up? Constantine, how you doing? So many people in the chat. Of course, the great Ryan Dole is gracing us with his presence. Hello. Yes, sir. Let me just do something real quick. Hector, can you talk a little bit, just real quick?
Yeah, sure. Well, hey, thanks everyone for joining us again, right? I mean, these toy talks are a lot of fun. Me and Peter have a great time doing them, and it's thanks to you guys. So thank you all for tuning in.
100%. Shout out Danielle in the chat. Works super hard for us in the back.
Danielle is awesome. So everyone, she does so much of the back end stuff for our website and everything. So she's great.
And she gets it. Thunder. And what up, Josh? How you doing, bud?
Hey,
Josh is great, running a lot of stuff for us on the Facebook group. All right. Before we get into Lion-O, I just want to show off a couple things. Tomorrow, let me see if I did this right. Tomorrow, there is a brand new, beautiful poster for Dune 2 by the incredible Trad Moore, who I can't believe we got to work with. He's just one of the best illustrators out there right now. I'm a guy who's obsessed with people who find a style, and that style is so clearly theirs. They own it. Trad is one of those people. He did a great Dune poster for Mondo a few years back, and so this is the sequel film. So we got a sequel poster, and I just love his take on Dune Part 2. So head over to Mondo Shop, check out the blog. It talks all about this beautiful new screen print. 24x36 comes out tomorrow. An edition of only $175 and $80. Should be shipping in December. But yeah, go and read up from what Trad had to say, what the great Josh Manderville, who's been on the show before, had to say. Yeah, they always have some great insights. And just, remember, we do these incredible screen printed posters, and it's something like this that really just cuts through. I love this one. What do you think about this, dude?
No, it's incredible. I'm a big fan of his work and what he did back with the Silver Surfer, right? One of my favorite runs of Silver Surfer ever. So, incredible artist. So glad to see him tackled. What would you say is like a Mobius kind of feel, right?
It gives me Mobius vibes. It gives me Peter Max vibes. But overall, it's like whenever you have influences, what's cool is that somebody who knows your influences can detect it. But it's like a smoothie, right? Like if you have like a really good strawberry, banana, kiwi smoothie, it should be like its own flavor at the end, not like super strawberry or super banana. It's like this new synthesis, right? So I just love that someday people are going to be influenced by Trad's work, and then someone's going to say, oh, that's very Tradmore-esque, you know, because he's got one of those styles. Really,
I feel like there needs to be a music video of this movie just in this style.
Yeah. This has a really great look. There's a bunch of video games and coming out now in that Mobius style. So I feel Trad is one of those artists who could easily translate to other mediums. Shout out Jordan Christensen. We're going to talk about some of your works there in a second here.
Yeah.
And then so that's tomorrow. Also tomorrow, you guys asked for it. Disregard, by the way, any of the text here. I don't know if any. This is like a preview site of preview shot of the site. So almost gone is not accurate. Tomorrow we are dropping the shirt, the Mondo shirt that the great Nolan Fleming, aka at Consume Design, created for Mondo. We were sporting these at Comic-Con. I had one and I had put it aside, and it was so popular. I think someone just grabbed it, not knowing it was mine. And so I currently don't even have one. You have one, right?
Yeah, right here.
Look at that, dude. Yeah, this shirt's amazing. Nolan is an amazing artist and designer who works at Mondo. So we get to have him do all these killer designs, and he's just been on a freaking red hot tear this year for us. So make sure you get the first shirt from the brand new era of Mondo apparel, spearheaded by Nolan Fleming, and he's just
that's exciting, right? I mean, it's exciting
news.
We're getting back into apparel. It's been a long time, but this is kind of the beginning of it, right?
Well, and it's a perfect way to start. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It's a great design. It's a great design. It's imbued with all these great vibes because it just reminds me of Comic-Con. It doesn't say like Comic-Con 24, so you guys don't have to worry about it being like an event-specific thing, but it is an amazing shirt. It is limited. So once it's gone, it's going to be gone is what I'm told. There's the front and the back right there. It's beautiful. But expect great things from Nolan and Mondo apparel in the near future, because I think he's just getting warmed up. Look at these Easter eggs here. This is like the arcade cabinet that features the record division of Mondo, Record Breaker. It's so cool, man. I wish this was an actual game. I know, and then I love this design.
Yeah, the collectible.
Collectible, so good.
Yeah, so good.
And then Poster Boy. I love that design for Poster Boy. What a great figure that would be.
Yeah, right.
So cool. But yeah, so super stoked. We're blessed to have Nolan on the team. This shirt is just so freaking good, and it's got all the little Mondo tickets, the Mondo tokens, and there it is, collectible. You're gonna see a lot more of this design this year, so stay tuned. But Nolan, man, just absolutely crushing it. Tomorrow it drops. I believe it drops when everything else does, but I don't know. So just be paying attention to the site when everything normally drops, I suppose. And if someone knows, they'll text me in the meantime. And then so let's see, that's the poster. That's this. So I guess that brings us to the man of the hour.
Well, before we get into that, real quick.
What did I forget?
So if you guys, you all, right?
Yeah.
Bought McCready.
Oh,
he is
yes.
shipping.
Yep.
He's arriving. Glad to see it out in the wild. Glad to see people really stoked on the figure. It was a long time in the making, so we're really happy to really take a big step into the kind of, what would you say, like realistic 1/6, right?
Yeah, it's us getting into that space. We hear a lot from people that love 1/6, and some of them love the animated look, some of them love the realistic look. Plenty of us love both, but we are fans of all of it. So being able to take a turn into that direction was awesome, and we're calling it our Mondo Showcase line, right?
Yes,
that's the word on the street.
It is called the Mondo Showcase line, which will be us, doing more of these realistic, kind of like screen accurate takes on movies, whatever it is that we end up doing, right? Yeah. So we've previewed some great stuff for the line. Comic-Con, which McCready, Megan obviously was part of that. Nada upcoming, right? Is it going to be
very
a part
soon?
of? Yeah, very soon is a part of that, and then we showed off the creature from the Black Lagoon, our new creature from the Black Lagoon. So keep an eye out. We're definitely going to be doing a lot more. Stay tuned for more news on if you're a fan of that kind of 1/6, right? If you're that collector. But speaking of Jordan Christensen, who was in the chat, I wanted to share this because everyone's been talking about it, but it's the packaging, right? Yeah, so it's just a little bit, not a full unboxing, but I just love that we did this outer sleeve. We do it every now and then. We tend to save it for something really special, and McCready was definitely that. And so we were.
Everyone's gonna be screenshotting this and trying to see what what secrets they can find in your desk.
I know, right? All the reflections. And
yes.
It's like,
but this packaging is so awesome. If people who are getting them are seeing how awesome the box design is, it's a sleeve. You can slide it out, right?
Yeah. So it comes
slide it out. And then Jordan collaborated with John Wayshak on the illustration for this part, right? So just here, I'm going to put you back on solo so you can walk through it.
Yeah. I just wanted to show this off because Jordan had, when we were talking about making the showcase line have really, really special packaging, right? So we talked about it at length, and what we originally had was the first idea that came to mind was a pop-up, right? We always wanted to do a pop-up, just weren't sure in what way we were going to do it. So as we were chatting, Jordan, came up with a couple different ideas, and we always wanted this idea of having these doors open up to showcase a figure. But as we kept talking about the pop-up idea, we teamed up with Wayshak, who is incredible, and we wanted to kind of have a juxtaposition of like the cold and harsh kind of environment that all the characters and the thing are, right? And then with the warm and crazy colors of the actual aliens and the things, right? So I just love how this turned out, and
it's crazy.
It's like a nice little window into McCready, right? But it's just the pop-up feature is just so cool, and I'm just Jordan crushed it, Wayshak crushed it. I'm just so proud of this. It's one of my I think just proudest moments here at Mondo, not only because McCready took so dang long to come into existence, and those who are here know the saga that McCready was, but that we are able to present it in such a cool, unique way. I just really proud of the team, and shout out to Jordan. So.
Yeah, Jordan is Jordan's really, you can't really define how talented this guy is. He's an amazing artist in his own right, but an incredible designer when it comes to just pushing what could be like a cool package design and making it something really thoughtful, really considered. In fact, I was just looking at the packaging that he designed for our larger Michael Myers and American Werewolf and London Sofubi figures. And I was looking at them. They look so great. So great. I cannot wait for people to see it because it's very like minimalistic, understated homage to Sofubi packaging.
Yeah, it's an homage to the bag and header card,
exactly,
but done in a different way that I think is a really cool way, a new way to present these figures and also preserve them, right? Yes. Bag and header cards are fantastic, and we all love them, but it can damage the figures in the long run, right? If you just keep them in. So I think this is a really cool way of preserving the figures as well. Yeah. So can't wait for people to see it.
I love it. And Will here in the chat wrote Box of the Year award. Dude, multiple people have said that on the reviews that like they've never seen a box like this and they're so stoked on it. And I get it, man. Like when you wait, when you spend premium money and you wait for a while to get something, everything about that experience is special. And so being able to open up the brown shipper box and pull that reflective sleeve that reminds me of the opening credits where they burned the logo out.
That was the goal.
Yeah, slide that off, and then you see the doors, and there's like a little suspense. Like, wait, what? Because we never really showed the packaging off anywhere before, right?
I think we showed it at
maybe here.
There was some. We talked about it. I think at a convention, maybe, or. I'm not.
Well, plenty of people had not seen it, and they were really stoked on it, which is really rad. Right. Anyway, so just amazing, and again, we're talking about Nolan designing our apparel. We're talking about Jordan crushing it on the design work and the packaging design, and working with these artists to get this amazing result. So it's just, we're always so stoked to be part of this incredible team, and hope you guys are getting to know these people and recognizing how much work goes in this stuff, because they really want to, like us, we really want to please you all. So okay,
absolutely.
On that note, if you go to mondoshop.com, and I know many of you have, oh, by the way, I should say that there's going to be a SDCC remainders sale tomorrow. So
so if you missed out on some SDCC stuff or weren't there,
right,
get some of our in-person exclusives, tomorrow is your chance.
Yes, so that's the Cherry Blossom Scareglow soft vinyl figure.
There's some of those available still for that'll go up tomorrow. What else? We have
there's some Batman soundtracks, the Spider-Man soundtrack vinyl. There's tons of cool. Well, I don't know how many of the units there are of them, but there are some Jim Lee posters left. There's some of the Iron Giant. Very little quantities, I think, of everything, but I think there's at least a few of everything. So get on the site early. Get ready, get your finger warmed up, and try to get what you're looking for, because I know there's a lot of good stuff in there, and just being at that booth and looking around, everything was so impressive. And speaking of posters, before we get into the figure, I also want to highlight, we've been running a timed edition release of this beautiful ThunderCats poster by the great Sanford Green. Sanford's an amazing artist. He's doing some incredible work for Marvel Comics right now on a Doctor Doom comic. Just absolutely crushing it. He's also one of the he's a storied comic artist, but he's also one of the concept artists on the Spider-Verse films. And I say that because there's some fun stuff coming from him in the future around that IP, so stay tuned. But this timed edition we thought was a great pairing with the figure. So many people have written us and say, hey, I love when you do the print release with the figure, because I know when I get them, I'm going to have an automatic kick-ass display for my figure, right? Like hang the poster figure right in front of, we all do that. You have Mondo posters behind you. So do I. So just a reminder, that's up there. It closes when the figure closes, which is August 23rd at 11:59 a.m. Central Time. So be on the lookout for that when you go to this page here. All right. Lion-O is here. Many of you have already seen this page. The time edition's been going on since the 13th. We're here to celebrate that. Thank you guys. So many of you have picked up Lion-O. It's incredible. And go ahead, Hector.
No. I was just
it's crazy. We know how popular Lion-O is, and we know that we stylized him slightly, but we weren't sure what the response was gonna be. You guys told us you love it. We get it. We have to do more. So Lion-O is here. Before we get into these beautiful shots, I do want to show, sometimes I go and I show this last, but I want to show this at the beginning this time. The concept art that I believe we revealed at C2E2 a few months ago, right? So talk to us about the concept art, who worked on it, when did we get started on this project, all that good stuff.
So we got started last year, right? So it takes some time to get these figures to a point where we can photograph them, right? Because we always photograph off of our actual factory prototypes, right? So when it comes to our 1/6 especially, right, is almost always a factory prototype. So we're it takes a little bit, but about a year ago, we contacted the amazing Emiliano Santa Lucia. We've entrusted him with Masters of the Universe for many years, and he's always done an incredible job of kind of just taking the direction I give him and just going with it and adding his own spin and everything, that he just imbues a sense of elegance. And I want to say just a great detail that never feels too overwhelming, right? It's like he up-reses things just enough to where you're okay, it still looks like the original, but it's definitely elevated a bit more, right? So yeah, he did a fantastic job, and we were really stoked to have Emiliano working with us.
Yeah, I think you put it perfectly. Like, he is able with his concept art to capture every little bit of detail, but also maintain this kind of balance so that you don't lose the essence of the character, right? So I think a sculptor probably loves to see Emiliano doing concept art because you get everything from his art that you need to translate it into 3D.
Yeah,
Um,
it's so
yeah.
tight and
Mhm.
and detailed, and it gives a sculptor almost all the information that they need. I mean, if you just like zoom in on the sword,
I
right? Like
love you.
all the, I don't know how high res the image is, but yeah, I mean, you could see just all the
Mhm.
amount of care that he put into the reinterpretation of the sword of
Yeah.
omens.
Yeah, and he's just like, if you're a concept artist or if you're an illustrator who would love to design stuff for toys, you gotta be familiar with Emiliano. To me, he's the standard bearer. I think he's like the goat of this right now.
Huh.
You know, right? Like, he's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like, you go to him and you don't have to worry.
Mhm.
And not only do you not have to worry, you're probably going to be impressed and excited and surprised by something you didn't consider in the past. Because he's not just a technician, he is a storyteller with his designs as well. He's a fan of the character, a fan of the world. So he's going to bring things to the table that are something a fan would want to see. So it's just great to have him. And the concept art was awesome. We showed it off at Comic-Con, and we also showed off the early sculpt renderings, or the finished sculpt rendering, I believe it was in
Yeah, it's pretty
3D.
close to finish there at that
Yeah.
stage.
And this is great because I personally, no offense to painters, I love all of my painters out there, but there's something about an unpainted raw sculpt that I just love. I just love it. I don't know what it is. I've always have loved unpainted prototypes. And so seeing the sculpt is when I feel in my gut like, oh, we got something here, right? And this is seamless. It just flows. It just feels real. Like we always say, like, when something feels like it always existed, you're onto something good. Who sculpted this one, dude? And tell us about the process of capturing, translating Emiliano, but also capturing that Lion-O character with our what people have been calling the Mondo eyes lens to see it through.
Mondo eyes lens, yeah. I mean, I hope that catches on more, because
I love
sort
that,
of
actually.
that's sort of what we do here, right? Unless we're doing a direct interpretation of an animated show, right? When it comes to some of this stuff, we can flex a little bit of our creative muscles and give folks something a little fresh while still feeling familiar at the same time, right? With this, the sculptor is the amazing May Thamtarana, who some of you may know him as Sculptor Shelf on Instagram. On Instagram, I was going to say Instagram.com.
Yeah, Sculptor Shelf
Instagram.com,
on the internet.org.
on the internets.
Yeah, if you're not following Sculptor Shelf, he's also,
yeah.
I mean, again, we keep talking about this. It's just like the Avengers of the toy world on this team, and May is just,
yeah.
He's on another level.
For those who don't know, he sculpted our Orko. He sculpted Skeletor Revelation back in a couple years back. He did Beastman for us. He did the newest Scareglow 1/6 and Lion-O, and he's working on Mumra. So which we already announced, so I can say that, but I can now tell people that that's the sculptor who did this and did all those other ones is also doing Mumra. So
and that Mumra, from take it from us who we've seen it, obviously, is like, it sets the bar even higher somehow. Like, when we saw that in our meetings, we're like, holy crap, dude, it's just so good.
It's insane. And May we're so fortunate for him for him being on the team. It's incredible. But yeah, I mean, we gave May the concept art. He is very, very great to sticking to every little minute detail in the concept art. So he basically translated it, perfectly, while also, making sure that the anatomy worked, the articulation worked, and all that kind of stuff. One of the biggest things, if you are following May and follow his page, Sculptor Shelf, he had done some really great custom Lion-O heads back in the day. They were like incredible. So he was naturally the one I went to because his work with fur and hair is just one of the best in the industry. So, one of the directives I gave him was that, Lion-O in the show and in the original show, he was always like handsome. I think he was always like a good looking, cat man. And so that was one of the things we tried to capture here was
and if you're wondering, no, I didn't charge to send my photo references of my face for this.
We just took pictures of you when you didn't know. I was just screen grabbing you while we were in meetings, and then I shot him over.
Can you imagine what a horrible thing that would be? But yeah, he's just incredible, man.
Beard, man.
That's true. He's awesome. We're super lucky. Again, if you just think about what we just said, Emiliano Santa Lucia, May Tantarana, that's incredible right there. That's really like a legendary duo working on something. If you're just a fan of toys in general, figures in general, those are names you should know, and those are names that should get you excited because those are the people who just make it happen.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Yeah. So that's just a great shot here. We got some other cool behind the scenes shots, which some of my favorite things to share. People were saying articulated claw shield for the win. People are here. There we go. Omar V says articulated claw shield for the win.
Yeah. I noticed that it's something I don't know if there's ever been a collectible of Lion-O that actually had the gloves articulated like we've done.
JP will tell us. Toy Addict.
Right. Toy Addict will know. But that was one of the things I definitely wanted, right? I wanted him at least for you to be able to move the fingers and grip the sword in that hand if you wanted to.
Yeah. No, it's just an amazing piece, and I feel like I don't think it's ever been done. Again, maybe JP can tell us. A 1/1 claw shield is just such an awesome thing. This
Mondo first.
Yes, right. Let's do it. This is one of those things. Oh, it is a Mondo first. Yeah, heck yeah. Cool. But it's one of those things where it's like you realize what an iconic piece of the universe this is, of the characters is, the claw shield. And the furry claw shield, what was that a reference to?
To be frank, we've seen I don't know if the furry claw shield was ever in the original show. I don't think it was, but it was it's been depicted before in the toy, and so we wanted to harken back to that and just include it as a fun. It's like kind of what we do with Motu, where it's like a fun Easter egg. Obviously the golden claw is like the one. And I have Lion-O here, so I'd love to. I can after. Let's go through a couple more of these photos real quick, and then I can
just run through these real quick. Snarf,
Snarf, and I think
all the fur.
Yeah, all the furry Snarf.
Yes, fur forward. Just an awesome figure. How big is he in real life? Like 2 feet, 2.5 feet?
If he was, no, he's big. I think he's
3 feet.
Yeah, he's about 3 feet, I think.
I wish we could do a 1. It would be awesome to do a 1/1 Snarf.
Punched fur.
I love it. He's great, man. He's just an awesome.
Make it like a puppet.
Oh my god, horrible. Yeah, this is an awesome piece. Snarf here. Here is when I saw this head being sculpted, I was just in love with it. I just love the idea of what if there were even more feral these characters. Who came up with this idea?
It was me. I mean, when I start brainstorming a project like this, I like to figure out how can we add, like especially in Motu and now ThunderCats, right? Like how can we add something that can not belong to Mondo, but just like it's something that you can only get here at Mondo, right? It's not the first time that Lion-O's been reinterpreted into more cat-like with more cat-like features. But I definitely wanted to explore it with here and do our take on it while not making it the standard head whatsoever. I mean, he has to be handsome Lion-O no matter what.
Right.
So that's just the default look, I think. But we did want to try something a little more cat-like, right? And I love how this head turned out.
Me too. I really love it. It's really, really cool. Rad. And then the angered expression.
Yeah.
I love these expressions. It's just great for posing, like our thumbnail. It's just you when you're doing a big dynamic pose, you need that energetic expression. And the King Lion-O. So this is also, from what I hear, a Mondo first. Toy Addict will confirm. Oh yeah, furry claw shield homage to LJN. There you go. So you know this is a bit of a Mondo first too, is what I'm being told, that King Lion-O had not been depicted in figure form.
I don't think so. No.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, when I was doing my research on this, I never came across it as an actual in like a toy, right, or a figure in any way. But it's a big moment.
Mondo first.
Yeah, it's a cool moment in the show, right?
Yeah.
And we again, like, even though we made some changes to the character's appearance, we're still always pulling from the reference, right? What inspired this figure to begin with, right? So there are so many little nods to the show that this was just such an obvious one that I needed to include. It's
an amazing, and again, like for shelf presence, having that cape, that robe, I should say, the crowned head, that's something that's going to stand out. If you have everything ThunderCats, that permutation right there is going to stand out in your collection. I love stuff like that.
Yep.
Yeah, Brian Carr confirming it too. Never has been a King Lion-O figure. Yeah, this is just rad stuff, and super stoked on that. You said you got some stuff there.
Yeah, I have Lion-O here, so we can we can look at it together.
By the way, I had Lion-O in my house for like a day. JP, and I tried to call you and tell you, but it was just not enough time. But he was here in Miami. All right, go show it off.
Lion-O was in Miami.
He was in Miami for like a minute, then I had to shoot him off to Pixel Dan.
He was going to the beach.
Exactly.
He's got the shorts for it.
Yeah, dude. You know what's crazy? When I held this figure, it feels so beefy and
it is beefy. It is heavy. He's an
awesome figure, dude. Awesome feel in your hand. Like it's a heavy. It feels like a legit big time figure. It's got great articulation, you know, really firm joints, and yeah, I just love the texture in hand and all that.
Yeah, so I mean, this figure, I think it's one of our better ones that we've done in terms of just like the end result of like everything that you see in 3D on a computer screen, translated like this. And then Mark Bristow, our amazing painter, did the paint on this, which he always crushes. But I just love how it turned out. I mean, just the metallics on the armor, just the blue hues that we picked that go along with the orange kind of like fur, right? The kind of fades that he did here and around here, where it doesn't look so much like makeup, and it just kind of looks like a natural transition, you know, between the fur colors. I love, you know, one of the things I really wanted to include was like these clear gems, right, for the emblems. So you can see like it's a translucent, you can kind of see it there.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Same with the little emblem here on the wrist gauntlet that we added. It's also transparent red, and as well as basically anywhere on King Lion-O, on his head, on his crown, it's also translucent, and it just gives it this really, like, I don't know, it elevates it a bit.
It does,
by just having that little piece of it being red and clear. It just looks really cool. It's the same with the swords, right? The emblems on the swords are all clear as well.
I love it.
So in Pixel Dan's video, the version that we sent him, unfortunately, was an earlier studio comp where they accidentally glued the tunic to the belt, so he couldn't remove it. So we told him later, like, oh yeah, we're sorry, we forgot to tell you that one was like that. But you can remove, you know, the tunic. It comes right out like this. You just kind of push the belt up, and then you can remove it, and then you can just kind of slide it down his legs here.
I think it's a good idea that we do the how-to here on the stream, because I remember so many people asking about how to do it on Tila. So this is
yeah. So you just kind of slide it down. It's just like Tila's belt.
Yeah.
And so you can display, and then the belt is freestanding, so you can adjust it to where you want it to be
for articulation. That's good. Doesn't like ruin the articulation on the
waist.
Nice. So there you go.
So we have that going, right? And then another interesting thing that I think we didn't point out before.
Tell me.
But the claw gauntlet, right?
Yeah.
So obviously, where is it? The sword of omens, the dagger goes in, right? It goes in right here like that. So that's cool. But
That's
also
awesome.
in the show, there's several scenes where he actually throws the gauntlet and it has like a chain and it's like attached to this other little handle with a paw on it. And we included that. And it's this.
Oh, okay. You know, I saw a lot of people talking about this and not knowing the reference. So this is good.
So it's actually from the show. It's from the show. He'll like throw his gauntlet and he uses it as like a grapple hook.
Oh,
so
cool.
He can like scale buildings and stuff. But the fun part about it is that there's a dagger at the end of this, right? This dagger, like it does in the show, connects.
Oh, no kidding. I didn't know that.
Yeah. It goes in.
Oh, I think that's a reveal right here on the stream. That's amazing. I did not know that.
You can
hypnotize.
I can hypnotize the audience with like,
hypnotize your significant other. I need more 1/6 scale figures.
Yeah, so, it's an homage to the show. So we pay attention. Cool. We're fans, right? But yeah, you can slot it right in where the small dagger goes, and I don't know. You can display it where like he's holding it like this.
I love that.
Or you can you can have whatever you're doing. But
yeah. There's gonna be some cool toy photography out there.
Yeah. It's just something that I think we amongst the millions of photos that Raul took, we just didn't do it. But now you guys know that is actually a thing that you can do.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, it also works on the other claw as well. So
I love stuff like this. I love stuff like this. I don't know another way to say it, but I love being able to play with this stuff when I get it.
Yeah.
And Omar, you nailed it. His play factor through the roof. Yeah, there's something that should not be overlooked when it comes to like getting cool figures, is like there should be this kind of fun stuff on it and to do with it. And yeah, I love that. I love that so much. That's really great. I didn't even know that. That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I noticed it later, and I was just like, "Oh man, like we didn't do any photos that highlighted that."
Yeah.
So I decided, well, we'll just save it for Toy Talk. But that's just so you guys can see that the claw, can grip the sword also.
I love the articulation on that thing, man.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool. Of course, he comes with the two swords. One that was kind of our Mondo redesign that Emiliano did. And then we did like a more classic version, right? Like I think we've highlighted that before, but I love them both.
I love them both too, man. I think it's just awesome to have choices like that when there's every time I have a figure that comes with 40 billion accessories, I never go, oh, too many. I'm like, man, I can't wait. Because I was actually just looking at Skeletor today. I'm like, it's time to swap out some stuff and display them differently. So I love stuff like this.
Yeah, that's a good point. And speaking of swapping out, one of my favorite portraits that we did is this one.
Oh, me too.
Sorry if it focuses in, but it's my favorite. I think this is how I'm gonna display it. Yeah.
I've decided the same thing.
Yeah,
I love those eyes. Yeah,
it's the best head.
And shout out again, Mark Bristow painting the hell out of this thing, man.
Yeah. And then here's a look at Snarf. Some people I think were asking about some of the articulation, or I saw some comments on our social.
Oh yeah.
So so this is our little Snarf. Snarf. Snarf.
You can't help but do the impression. He's great, dude. Yeah.
So
we talked about it before, but it really does feel like Jim Henson, Brian Froud homage with the design, the sculpt, and I just absolutely love that because I'm going to be displaying this guy next to our Motu stuff. It just fits alongside that.
Exactly. And we, just like our Motu, we call them the little buddies, right? Because many of our Motu figures come with smaller little buddies like this.
That's a big little buddy.
Yeah, he's on the bigger side of the little companion pieces that we've done. We originally had him a little smaller, but it just didn't feel right. So he has his head is on a ball joint, so you can kind of give him some pretty neat expression, or articulate his head in some pretty interesting ways. And then the arms are on swivels, and his legs are on swivels. So like if you wanted to have him sit down, like you could, which I think some people like having him sitting.
Yeah.
So you can have him like this. And yeah, it's just I really love how he turned out, and he's super cute.
Yeah, he's great, man. I just love how convincing he is. Translating him into like a realistic look is it's a cool thing, man. It's a rad challenge, and I think it just works.
Yeah.
Here's a good question. I don't think we have I don't know. We haven't talked about this yet, so I hope you don't mind me springing it on you. Christian Lopez says, will the other ThunderCats be packed in with a lot of accessories too? I was hoping that they would include a snarf head and other figures laughing, smiling, angry, etc. It's not a bad idea. Maybe we can consider that in the future, like, you know, other snarf expressions packed in the future.
No, I've already considered it. It's one of those things where I think you know, Snarf I can see being packed in with some of the other heroes, right? Different, maybe in a different pose.
Okay.
Maybe when a different with a different expression, like you're saying. So, but
yeah. And Christian, you won't be disappointed here. All right. So yeah, awesome. So yeah, it's just an awesome piece to see it in hand. People are already talking about, can't wait to pose him next to He-Man. Can't wait to put Snarf with Orko. I love all that stuff. So yeah, let's take a look at some of Raul's amazing photography here, because it's just the absolute best. Just real quick for scale, is that Raul, by the way, holding the figure?
I think so.
I wonder if he already had the ThunderCats belt or if he got it for the photo shoot. I love that so much.
This guy built a life-size Castle
Bridge, that's true.
Skull, or not life-size, but 1/6 scale and Snake Mountain. I wouldn't put it past him to go buy a belt. For this shoot. Yeah,
some great shots here. Everything you get when you pick up the exclusive. And yeah, that's 5 different heads per lion. 5 different heads. You get the robe, you get Snarf, you get the book, 3 different swords. Yeah, the Book of Omens, and you get you know, the 6 extra hands, the dagger, 2 claw shields, and the chain. That's such a great accessory. Now that we know it fits into the claw, that's awesome. Okay, so yeah, let's check this out. This was such a great shot, by the way, to kick everything
I know
off.
It was like the best teaser, right?
He's ridiculous, dude, Raul. Yeah, look at this. I just love looking at these, really capturing that feel. I don't know if anybody in the chat's a toy photographer, but I feel like you'd have a blast with something like this, right?
Yeah.
It's just such a great opportunity to get all that detail highlighted in there. You know, someone was asking about the armor. Is the armor on the chest removable? I don't think we've said it is.
No, it's not. It's not.
Okay.
It's not. No, not this time around.
No, not this time around. Yeah. Awesome articulation. Able to get poses like this is great. You know, when you're coming up with what we should include in a figure, right? Are there moments where you consider like, well, I want this head because someone's gonna want to pose it super dynamically, or I want this kind of thing? Like how much, when you go from 0 to concept, like how much and what kind of thinking is happening there?
Yeah, you know, sometimes we go a little overboard and we have to like cut back on heads because we kind of want everything. But I think there's always a standard, right? There's like, you know, you want your neutral poses for those people, or any. I always try to think.
I'm a museum poser. I'm
always trying to think of like the collector, you know, the collector hat on kind of thing. Like, how would I display? And I'd probably display with a more museum kind of standard.
Me too.
But there's other people who would, you know, if you want you put them in these kind of dynamic poses, you need like an angry head, right? Like an angry, especially like most of these characters that we're doing are like warriors in some sense, right? Or you know, heroic or whatever. So you want like an expressive face that you can display if you want to display them in like an action pose, right? And the you know, when it came to Lion-O, you know, doing King Lion-O was important, and we couldn't really do it as like, you know, just a hat or like the crown. You couldn't just, we had to make it its own head because the crown, the hair was completely different,
right?
So it wouldn't have worked as like a swappable piece in terms of like the hair piece and the crown. So that's why that ended up being its own thing.
This picture of him as King Lion-O is ridiculous. Is that cape? We're talking about a wired cape?
Yeah. It's a wired cape. wired cape, and it's attached to those golden kind of like shoulder pauldrons, right?
love
So it's
that.
always permanently attached to that, and you can remove these right here.
Oh, okay, cool. I did not know that either.
Yeah. So the straps, they come off like this.
Okay, cool.
They're pretty easy. You just like literally just like kind of pull them off, and then you put the golden ones with the cape, and it attaches here. That way you don't mess the silhouette up. That was something I didn't want to do. I didn't want the cape to sit over these because it would just kind of make them too bulky.
Yeah.
So we just made them swappable instead. So, and it works really well. It's like a simple, like you just attach it, and then
I love that.
And then it goes on like that. So
I love when it just works.
Yeah, me too.
You know.
And then the claw does attach here to his. Belt in case I know we have it in the photos, but I think
I love that too. You know, that older God of War figure. I love that I have places to put all his weapons and things like that. So stuff like anytime I can naturally feature accessories, I'm stoked about that.
Right.
Yeah. So that King Lionel's insane. Someone is asking, where did I see it? I want to make sure I don't miss this comment. Lago Figs. Definitely picking this up. Will there be a regular edition, non-timed, to use the other heads?
Right now, the timed edition's the main one that we're doing.
But there's no plans right now.
Stay tuned. Just keep an eye out. We love this character so much, so this won't be the last time you see it.
There you go. Let me see what else I wanted to show up here. Yeah, so here is this awesome snarf in the environment. I look at it like this photo makes me giggle, man. It's just so fun. Like it's just awesome. It makes me wish we just have a whole like. I wish I had the space. I guess I do, but I need to use it to work. But I would love to have a diorama table for figures. Right. You know how people have like Warhammer setups and they're like awesome, terrain. You know what I mean? Yeah. I've always loved that. I would love to just have it for figures, to just have like a cool, like a Fortnite map that has like the green area, the volcanic area, like all that kind of stuff, and then just set the figures up in there. It's so nice, dude.
Right.
So nice. Let's see here. Yeah, I love that. This is great. There's some great shots too here with the feral head. Mm-hmm. And
it looks really cool in these images,
it looks
right? Like
really freaking cool.
Really well.
Yeah, and it just feels like an Elseworlds thing with the fur shield, the claw shield, the dagger in there. It all just ties together like, again, like an Elseworlds thing, which I love that you can almost get two figures out of this. Well, I guess you do. You get more than two. Rad piece there. Great paint app on that thing. It just looks so good. So cool. A lot of folks are asking, hey, I'm super excited for Lion-O. I'm picking him up. Is Mondo gonna go deeper in this line? And we've already revealed Mum-Ra. So like people know that you're getting Lion-O, you're getting Mum-Ra for sure. Mm-hmm. But are we ready to say that we're in on doing more figures than just those two?
Well, I think I did answer this question earlier on something that we did. So
cool.
I'll leave it saved for that. I don't know. When is that airing? Is that
tomorrow, right? JP, let me know. Tomorrow's your stream. So Hector's answer to that question is in that stream. So how about that for a cliffhanger? Yeah, I love it. This by the way, the sword with the lightning effect on it. What was the decision to have it just sculpted on as a full extra sword? I love that. I love not having to futz with the thing. So
me neither. That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, it was just an engineering challenge, right? When we were doing it, originally we had it as just a swappable part, but when you guys get it, you'll see that it's very flexible, and it just. You risk too much warpage at that point, so we were just happy to like come up with a solution, and basically it was like just included as a separate sword. That way you don't have to compromise on anything.
I love it. I think that's perfect, and no issues sliding it on. Mm-hmm. So we're close to wrapping it up here. I do want to say that Lion-O is at the tail end of the timed edition. So sometimes we do these toy talks at the very beginning. Sometimes we do in the middle, but I want to make sure everybody understands that there is really only a day and a half left, I guess, to pick up Lion-O. And this is one of those figures I think if you miss, you will regret, especially if you're looking to build a ThunderCats lineup. I think Mumra coming out is going to create some heavy FOMO in people who are fence sitters on this one. So again, I always put my collector hat on, say, if you're gonna do ThunderCats, you don't miss Lion-O, right? If you're an 80s collector, you don't miss Lion-O.
Yeah, it's like He-Man, or it's like not been getting. It's like if you're missing out on He-Man or missing out on Skeletor or a Luke Skywalker or something like that, right?
Yeah, and it's the first time this figure's been done in 1/6. I just think if you're a 1/6 collector, you need a Lion-O. If you're an 80s retro animation collector, you need a Lion-O. If you're just a figure fan, this is an excellent figure, right? So again, it ends August 23rd, which is Friday at 11:59 a.m. Central Time. Don't miss out on him. If you're considering it, it's not one to miss. I think it's going to be the cornerstone of a lot of people's collections. And before we get out of here,
are we doing a gift card?
Exactly. I was gonna say we should give away some cheddar here, baby, so people can ease that little help on that Lion-O transaction. How about that? So yeah, let's do it. Let's do a piece of trivia. What do you think? What should be the trivia question on this? I'm gonna defer to you on this one. Do you think you have one, or should I pull one up real quick? Probably pull one up real quick.
Let's pull one up.
All right. Let me see here. And I'm gonna also open up my YouTube app to make sure when the person answers it, the right person. Let's see here. Ooh. Jesus, that was a good one. Let me see. I don't know if I know. One? I thought, I do, but I don't know. I want to make sure I get the right answer. Okay, here we go. I think this is a good one, but it might be super easy. It might be super easy. All right.
Whatever.
What is the name? What is the name of Snarf's species? What is the name of Snarf's species? So I'm going to go ahead and check out the actual YouTube comments to make sure whoever says it. There it is. So it is technically Snarf is the name of the species. So the first one who added.
That why he says Snarf?
Yeah, Snarf. So Snarf's. I am now debating if it's Snarfs or Snarf because the first two people had different answers, but I believe it's Snarfs is the answer I got when I looked it up. So I'm going to give it to Marco Polo. Marco Polo, where you at in the chat here with your correct answer? I see it. Congratulations to you, Marco Polo. Do me a favor. Well, first of all, congratulations.
Oh, yep.
Congratulations. And make sure you email support@mondoshop.com. And so you can go ahead and pick up your $50 gift card there. Congratulations. Snarfs is the answer. Marco Polo. Congratulations. I think we're done. We wrapped it up. You got places to be, things to do. And I got to get back to work myself. So, folks, thank you so much for watching. And remember, if you're considering Lion-O, don't sleep. You can get them now if you want them, but you have to get them before August 23rd at 11:59 a.m. Central Time. Figure out the math on your time zones. Don't mess up. Can you believe, dude? I sent you this. I screenshotted this, but I'm going to tell everybody watching. Can you believe that someone messaged saying, hey, I missed Scaremare and Scareglow. Is there still a way I can get one? Dude, we had a long timed edition for those two. And we said it, like, as there's always going to be someone who misses out. Yeah. I feel bad. It is what it is. But at the same time, don't let that be you if you really want Lion-O, right?
Yeah. I mean, this is just the start of a hopefully really amazing ThunderCats line for years to come. So yeah, this is the one that started it all off, right? So if you can, try to snag one before it goes away.
Yes, and for those asking, we're hoping these start to ship in January. So you'll have a great start to the new year. All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining us. Another fun Mondo Toy Talk. I love doing these. Hector, we love it, right? We like talking toys with everybody. It's the best.
Yeah, it's the best, especially when I get to share, little fun tidbits about our figures that we forgot to tell people about.
That's the best. Right. So, guys, again, thank you for joining us. We'll see you very soon, and head over to Mondo Shop. Remember, tomorrow is also the T-shirt drop. You got the ThunderCats poster still up there by Sanford Green. We're doing San Diego Comic-Con remainders, and then the timed edition ends on Friday. So don't miss out. All right, you guys, have a great one. Happy Wednesday night, I guess, whatever. And tune in to Mega J and Toy Addict tomorrow to see their exclusive reveals that they got out of Hector. So I'll see you guys later.
Bye, everybody. Bye,